Good morning. I'm Karen Maxwell, Plan Section Chief Trainee. Welcome to August 24th, Friday, operations briefing. If you would, please go ahead and remember to look over the objectives in your IAP. Is following the same principles and objectives that everybody knows why we're here. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our instant meteorologist, Tom Bird, so that he can give us a brief on the weather.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Tom Bird, instant meteorologist, and we'll start out looking at this morning's satellite imagery as we captured this about 7 o'clock this morning, and what you'll notice is almost the entire state is clear. The exceptions are down south along the coast. It's hard to see here, but there's some low stratus and some fog. Alice and Beeville, they seem to always be fogged in when you have that onshore flow. And then up here in the high plains, and then over in the western Trans-Pecos, you see some clouds streaming across. That's debris cloud from overnight storms that they had in those areas. Moving on now to the lightning in the last 12 hours. You can see most of the state didn't have any whatsoever. This entire area is free of lightning. We had a couple overnight of storms in the northern panhandle, and then we had some storms come out of the western Trans-Pecos area that provided some lightning. Here's the 24-hour precipitation across the state. You can see we're pretty much dry. The exceptions being overnight storms brought about a half an inch to areas northeast of Amarillo, and then coming out into Hudspeth and El Paso, Culberson counties out west, there was some showers and thunderstorms that moved across, and both of those areas are associated with the monsoon moisture plume out to our west. All right, here's our highlights for today and going forward. We continue underneath that big area of high pressure, and we'll just continue to sizzle with late hot August temperatures. Our temperatures will be above normal. Our relative humidity will keep creeping lower as we get into the next couple of days, and we're starting to see increased breezes across mainly the northern and western and southern portions of the state. Here's a look at today's weather map. What we'll see is we continue with that monsoon moisture plume out to our west, bending across west and north Texas, and then we'll start to see a little bit more onshore flow, bringing some more moisture into the upper and middle coastal plains, with that high pressure starting to shift off to the east just a little bit, helping to get some more moisture in to the coastal areas. This is what the model thinks the storm activity will look like this afternoon. And that's not a really good overlay, but it kind of helps you see where it will be, which branches. We're looking primarily over the high plains in the western Trans-Pecos, maybe just a few isolated storms, like I said, in those coastal plains. Okay, now we're looking at today's high temperatures, and this big circle indicates that expanding area where we'll see 100-degree or higher temperatures across the state this afternoon. And then this white line, anything to the south and east of it, we'll see those higher heat indices thanks to the combination of those 100-degree temperatures and higher relative humidities with that Gulf moisture. Here's our minimum relative humidities this afternoon, and you can see most of the state will be below 30%. We'll have a few teens out west in the Trans-Pecos, and then as you go east of I-35, you can see those relative humidities staying at 30% and above. The winds this afternoon on the right-hand side, as you move east, they get lighter. As you move to the west, they get a little stronger, so we'll have a large area where we'll have somewhat breezy conditions from the south and southwest. They kind of go into that 15 to 25 mile per hour range in the afternoon hours. So if there is any starts in the high plains, the rolling plains, the Trans-Pecos, the western hill country, they will be battling some increased winds in those areas. There's our precipitation and storm chance outlook for this afternoon, primarily the same areas that we saw yesterday and last night, with the addition of just a little bit of activity possible over the upper Texas coast. Now we look forward through next Tuesday, or next Saturday actually. So we're going out a little over a week on that bottom chart. High pressure starting to slip off to the east. By the time we get to early next week, have this little wave starting to move in off the Gulf, maybe help us get a little bit more shower activity in the southeast and the central portions of Texas, but really still kind of holding that down. And then that high pressure just bounces right back over us as we get into the end of the month and start September to pretty much keep the region dry. A couple more shots right here. This is tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. There's a storm across the top where we think there'll be, and this is the rainfall across the state. So you can see primarily dry. And then this is the 7-day precipitation. Looking back 7 days, this is the rainfall we've seen across the state, really highlighting just how dry we've been south, east, and central. And then finally, this is the new drought outlook that came out yesterday. We've improved a bit up north and starting to see a little bit of expanding drought to the south. And then on the right-hand side, there's the outlook for the rest of August with temperatures, the probability much better for warmer than normal, and also the precipitation on the bottom, much of the state still under that drier than normal probability. That concludes weather.
Good morning, everyone. Rich Gray, Operations. Yesterday was a fairly busy day across the state. Kind of recapping some things. Fairly busy over in Walker County and East Branch yesterday. The Walker East fire sitting at 764 acres, 100% contained, and the Huntsville units will restaff that again today to patrol and mop up. Walker West, 375 acres, 90% contained. Task Force 6 was released last night, recovered back to Smithville. Will be available for IA from Smithville later today, and then East Branch resources will be continuing to staff Walker West and improving line and going full containment on that today. Over in San Saba County, the Brasada fire is 250 acres, 68% contained. Same crews will be back on that today to finish up containment and patrol and mop up from their firing operation yesterday. Camas fire down in LaSalle County, 100%, 300 acres. Task Force 15 will be back out on the fire today, finishing patrolling and mopping up on that. And finally, the Cothee fire in Gillespie County, 26 acres, 100% contained on that yesterday. That'll be in a patrol status today, and they'll send some units from Fredericksburg to patrol and mop on that today. A couple of things for the staging areas out there. Today's a fairly large demob day with some of our Northwest Branch areas that are coming in, so pay attention to the demob plan and times that you're supposed to be in. Those that are on the demob plan with a time that are mitigating time today because they were on a fire late last night, just come in after mitigating time and we'll get you through demob. Today you've seen the wind field out in the northwest, Panhandle and West Branches. Increased winds, we're at normal staffing there, but today a heads up day for those guys with the wind in case that catches a dry spot in the fuels. Rest of the area to the south and East Branches, again, probably fairly active day, so just maintain SA on that. Couple notes on the 220 form. Please pay attention to that. We did move quite a bit of aircraft around yesterday. Two of the Type 3 ships were repositioned to East Branch. We're moving a air attack platform today from Abilene to LaGrange area, and the Type 2 ship is still over assigned to the fires in Walker County. So just pay attention to those movements and review that 220. Y'all have a safe day. Thanks.
Mickey Button, safety here. Had no accidents or injuries, so again, I'd like to thank everybody for the efforts y'all putting into to make sure your situation awareness are up, and that's how we keep from having an accident. I thank you for that. My day is a transition day. We're still in that transition period, as Ops was talking about there. We got units coming in here to demob, so just make sure you watch your situation awareness on your driving, and be aware if you're out of state resources and you got a long distance to go, again, remind you of the 10-hour driving, or 16 if you got 2 drivers out there. It's the weather is hot and dry, So that means we need to continue our hydration, and we continue your cooling breaks out there. I went back and was looking, and when we had the fatality here in Texas back in 2011, the temperature was 103 degrees that day, and we had that. So our temperatures are going to reach that 103 today, so and it has been so, and we had a fatality on that day with that kind of temperature. So it's out there to bite you, to hurt you. Our fires are increasing in intensity a little bit. Remind everybody that the fire may not doing a whole lot when you arrive on it, but look at your fuels in front of it, your pockets there, because with these winds, the humidity and the temperature, you can get into a flare up pretty fast. So just everybody have a safe day. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Les Rogers, IC for the team. Just want to reemphasize what safety and what Rich pointed out is when we have 1,000 acres burn over here in the eastern side of the state, that's very significant. It shows you how dry we are. And then down here, we're starting to move a little bit further to the south, and that brings on more complexities of border protection. You got Border Patrol and other things running around out there, so just keep in mind. As long as we tie in with the locals, they'll help us out there. And the last thing is I appreciate everybody that's demobbing. Y'all have been ambassadors, not just for TFS, but for the wildland fire community, and we appreciate that. So y'all just have a good, safe day. Thanks.
All right, everyone, get your phones back on, get ready for work, and have a good, safe day. Thanks.